SwimSwam rider Yin Yin Lee, and we are here to do little bit of a deep dive on the first night of SEC and ACC championships. Obviously, the highlight being an NCAA record in the 200 medley relay set by the Virginia women, as well as Jordan Crooks splitting an 18-9 for the first time in history, sub 19 in the 50 fly. First off, Yin Yin, Jordan Crooks, 18-9.
Oh my God, I can't even believe it's real. I was looking at the splits and I just saw 18. I'm like, what? Is that a freestyle split? No, it's a fly split. I knew he was going really fast when I was watching the actual race. They were like half a second behind Florida, and then after that leg, they were half a second ahead of Florida. And I was thinking to myself, oh, he definitely went really fast, maybe like a 19 low, but no, 18-9, which is crazy, bonkers.
Yeah, again, as Rowdy said on the commentary, he didn't just go the fastest time, he shattered it. He went the previous fastest time was 19.3 by Joe Schooling and someone else. Do you remember who's the
Eric
second
Fries.
person?
Eric Fries.
And Eric Fries of Florida from last year's 200 medley relay. Almost the more surprising part of this was that Florida had their medley relay and almost upgraded their medley relay from last year with Josh Liendo anchoring in 18-2, no less. And Tennessee still came out on top of Florida just because the 18-9 from Jordan Crooks was
Yeah.
so massive. I mean, Eric Fries was 19-9, which is a monster split. And I mean, Florida, we know their history. We know that I think it's safe to assume he'll be faster at NCAAs. But let's talk Jordan Crooks. 18-9, obviously crazy. He's out in 8-2, which is so much speed.
Faster than Dressel's 17.6 going out. Even though Dressel was 2 feet and flat spot, but still, it's a crazy stat.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the comments was asked, is it still a stretch to think he's going to go 43 in the 100 fly? You said aptly, no. I'm confused. Did anyone ever say that he wasn't going to go 43 this season?
I mean, his best time is a 44.7, so I guess if he doesn't drop that much from mid-seasons, then no, but he was 19.8, I believe, in the 50 fly mid-seasons, and he went 18.9 today, so he's definitely going 43 and if he drops a second in a 50, he's definitely for sure dropping more than a second in a 100. Like, there's no doubt about it.
I just don't see a world that he doesn't go 43. I mean, I think he could challenge Dressel's record at this point of 42.8, but if he doesn't go 43, I would be shocked.
The real question here is he gonna go 17 in the 53? I think he will.
There's no doubt in my mind. He was 18-2 at midseason.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he'll go 17-6 tomorrow. By the way, swim fans, I'll be on deck tomorrow in College Station at SECs. So whatever he goes, I'm interviewing him, which I'm excited about. But he can't not go 17 tomorrow.
I think
especially with the 3 chances, as well as he gets to lead if he leads off the relay.
Yeah. I think what this relay and what Crooks' performance shows is that he is on another level, step above everyone else this year. Because I was looking at Josh Liendo's split. He split 18-2, which is really solid. And then I'm remembering that Crooks went 18-2 off a flat start this year. So it's just so mind-boggling how good he is.
And it'll be interesting to see how this meet plays out, and then obviously how we roll into NCAAs. Tennessee is known to really go for it at SEC championships, and last year we saw Jordan Crooks carry that momentum through. It was his freshman season. He didn't do quite as well at NCAAs, but he was still in those A finals in the 50 and 100 free. I mean, we've seen him win a world title already in the last few months. So I think he's going to have an absolutely monster NCAAs. But that showdown with Lee Indo and the other, and Brooks Curry
Curry.
and the other sprinters in the NCAA are going to be really exciting. But yeah, that's speed. Let's talk UVA women. 2 medley relay at ACCs. They just clip their American US Open NCAA record. What did you see that intrigued you out of this, out of our first of however many NCAA records before NCAAs?
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of surprised that they took down the record because, well, one, they don't have the open lanes like that they did last year, and second, I didn't think that Alex Walsh would be able to match Alexis Wenger's split from last year, and everyone else on the relay was the same as last year. So I think they would have gone maybe 132 low, but I wasn't expecting them to go even faster at this meet, and they did. And I'm mainly wondering with Kate Douglas splitting 20.4, I'm wondering if this is going to I guess convince her to do the 50 free over the 200 medley relay. I'm 200 IM I meant. And I don't think she should do the 50 free over the 200 IM because she really, even if she went 20.4, she was 20.5 last year, so not that big of a difference. But like for her, I'm wondering, does that give her any, I guess, in like decision making? Like it would if she would do the 50 free with who I am.
Yeah, I mean, my money has been on her doing the 50 free. I mean, I think she's the American record holder. I think she's really good at the 200 IM, and I don't really see a reason for her to swim it, especially because I know that her training is more sprint oriented. I know she has endurance, but as the weekend goes on, does she want to go 50, 100, 200 for individuals, or does she want to go 200, 100, 200? And so I think not front loading that first day with the 200 IM sets her up to have a good or a better rest of the meet, at least, because NCAAs is taxing, especially when you get to that last day and you're doing a 200 breaststroke.
I think I could see her doing one of each race at ACCs and NCAAs. Maybe she'll do the 50 free here and then the 200 IM at NCAAs. I'm not sure, but technically the heat sheets are available for the head coaches. We just have not gotten them yet. So she's probably already made the decision. We just don't know.
Coaches, come on. We need those heat sheets.
Trying to get the heat sheets right now.
Yeah, and it's always fun to see what events they swim at conference
Yeah.
versus NCAAs, and obviously she has the versatility to do anything she wants.
Yeah, and obviously, Gretchen Walsh with the 22.6, it's a big drop for her, and then right after that, Maggie McNeil goes at 22.5. I am so excited to see the two of them race each other at NCAAs.
So right before we get to Maggie, I do just want to go back to, you mentioned you didn't think Alex Walsh could match Alexis Wenger's split on that medley relay, which she didn't, but everyone else picked up the slack, which is where
everyone else
this
got
record
faster,
came
which is
from. So like Gretchen was 2/10 faster than last year. Alex was about 3.5 tenths slower than Alexis, but then Lexi was 2/10 faster, and then Kate Douglas dropped
was like
0.05.
Yeah. So everyone stepped up. And yeah, going back to Gretchen and Maggie, I just think this sets us up really well for their battles at NCAAs because even if they weren't competing at the same meet, it still felt like they were going against each other virtually just based on like, oh, 22.6, nope, I'm gonna go 22.5.
I just think Maggie really needs to swim the 100 back. Please, Maggie, swim the 100 back. I mean, it's crazy to see how far, how we consider the women's 50 back like a real event now because of the stars that are swimming it and swimming it at an insane level. And like, I think 2 years ago, no one had gone like 23.0 was Maggie's record,
2 years ago.
right?
Gretchen was the first woman under 23 at last year's ACCs. So exactly a year
It's
ago,
been
there
1
was
year.
no one under 22, 23, and now we have someone going 22.5.
Right, like, now that's just the standard, and you have Gretchen, you have Burkoff, you have McNeil, all just
Yeah,
kinda routine. It's like, if you don't go 22, it's like, "Well, what are you doing?"
yeah, and Berghoff went 23-2 in on this same relay, today, and that's, like, a pretty good split, but we know she drops a lot from ACCs to NCAAs, so she could potentially surprise us at NCAAs. Maybe she'll go 22-4. I
I
don't
mean, I
know.
think I feel like that's what she's done the last couple of years, right?
Yeah,
Like, she
yeah,
even last year coming in as the
yeah,
defending NCAA champion, I don't think many people had her defending that title, and then she
yeah.
drops a full second American NCAA US Open record, and it's like, "Okay, well, yeah, Burkoff's here to play." Yeah, which is why Maggie McNeil needs to swim the 100 back, because that trifecta battle of the Titans would just be epic.
Do you think
So,
if she swims the 100 back, do you think she drops the 100 fly or the 100 free? That's the question. Because I don't see a
she doesn't
world
drop the 100 fly.
where she
I think
drops the
100
100
free.
at her so you think she does the double?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think she will do
Yeah,
this.
I don't think she'll do the one back, but in the case that she does the one back.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
case, like, in my fantasy world, she would swim. I mean, or maybe she would do 3 100s and drop the 50.
I do not see her doing that, but anyways, that's all fantasy. Not
Yeah.
not
I mean,
reality.
I don't we know she's not doing that at this meet. I don't think she'll swim the 100 back at NCAAs, just
Yeah.
because she wants to secure her legacy in that 100 fly,
Mhm.
in my opinion, and she's not gonna risk just doing a double, in prelims for that.
Yeah.
So Yin Yin, aside from these two massive swims, what else stood out to you tonight?
Something that stood out to me tonight was Florida's 200 medley relay on the women's side because last year Florida went 137.8 and they didn't even qualify for NCAAs. And today they went 134.7, which is over 3 seconds faster, and they demolished the NCAA cut. And a big factor in this was the arrival of Nina Kucheran, who is a fifth-year transfer from Florida State. She split 26-2, and I think last year their breaststroker split maybe 28, 27, like way slower than that. And then they also had Eris Runnels, who's a sophomore, and she led off in a 23-7 on the backstroke leg, and that's a really big drop for her because prior to today, her best time in the 50 back was a 24-5, and I think it just shows this upward trajectory that Florida's been on in the last 2 years under Anthony Nesty, and they're gaining a lot of really big additions, and I think they just have a lot of momentum going for them, and they won the 800 free relay with the exception of Emma Wyant. They split straight 143s, which is crazy. And I think they could be in the conversation to win SECs. I still think Tennessee is the favorite because they probably have more depth than Florida, but Florida's really knocking on that door and they beat Tennessee in both relays tonight. And yeah, I just think they're on a really good upward trend.
It is really interesting. I think we've been talking about the Florida women kind of going up there with Nesty for the last couple of years, and we've reported a lot on Tennessee's missing pieces this season. And even when I was in Tennessee last month, talking to the coaches and talking to the women's team, they're like, yeah, we've had a lot of absences for illnesses for whatever reason, and we've just kind of had to re-find our identity, because it's like a big part of our team isn't there, especially when we get down to scoring meets like this, where it's like we were kind of depending on these women's contributions, and now we don't have them, so now we kind of just have to get reorganized, and I think they'll do that here. But the Florida, we see in their relays tonight, Tennessee is not what they were on paper at the beginning of the season, obviously. And I think I think Florida women are certainly going to give them a run for their money in
Yeah,
this
and
meet.
it's not like the Tennessee woman did bad either. Brooklyn
Mhm.
Douthright just went the top time in the NCAA in the 200 free, 1:42.4, and then Mona McSherry split 25.9 on the 50 breast, which is insane. So they're still doing pretty well. They got third in the medley and then second in the free relay. It's just that Florida's doing better.
Mhm. At least for tonight. And like you
Yeah.
said, I think Tennessee might flex with their scoring depth individually throughout the meet, where Florida might not be there as a complete team yet. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. It should be interesting. I want to pull up one comment here. Lucas Caswell. Elon's split was a WTF moment for me. No woman breaks 22 and doesn't do a great 100. Is she the next 49? Could we see a all 49 or 48 final, an all sub 50 final in NCAAs?
I think she could go 49. Her best time is a 50.3, which was set in 2021, so I think that's long overdue for a drop. And about the all 49 final, let's see, how many swimmers do we have in the NCAA that have gone 49? Douglas, McNeil, Husk, Curzan. I guess if you count Walsh, I don't know if she's gonna swim it, but that's 5, and then Sticklin. And then if Alon's goes 49, that would be 7. So we just need one more.
I mean, I think certainly in prelims, it could take sub 50 to qualify for the final. I think asking for a sub 50 final would be my prediction is that 49.99 to make the final, but then there's one or two 50 points in there at night. I don't think Gretchen will swim it, but I
Yeah,
do think there are a couple of girls who will step up at NCs.
yeah. I don't think there's gonna be all 8 swimmers going 49, but we could see a heat of nearly everyone going 49, and it's not just Alon's, also Gabby Albero split 20.8 in the 50 free, which tells me that she's in for some big drops in her other events as well, because she's never been under 21 before on a relay. So she could be another big player, but just overall very fast.
Yeah, that's gonna, there's going to be so many good events.
Yeah.
Um, let's. I want to hit on just a couple notes as we're wrapping up here. In the men's 8 free relay at SECs, Florida rolled. I mean, it was just like
Jake
no
Mitchell had a
problem
big
for
swim.
them. I mean, they went 6:08, which is such a
Yeah,
solid time out. Like at NCAAs, it's still a good time, but just outside of NCAAs, that is just a really good time. You're averaging 132.1, and they had 4 guys go 32 or 31, and just a
yeah,
really solid performance after losing Kieran Smith.
yeah.
Um, and Bobby Fink, who wouldn't be on that relay probably anyway. But it's like they lost a lot of pieces, and they're just like, oh yeah, no, it's fine.
But they
We'll,
also
we'll,
gained a lot of pieces because Jake Mitchell is doing really well. He never went I think his fastest split was a 1:32.95. I was looking at the splits before this, and he went a 1:31.4 tonight and came home in 23, which yeah, yeah, that's pretty good.
that's saucy. Yeah. Um, and then Auburn getting in for second. I mean, the
Mhm.
Auburn men look really solid in both those relays tonight.
Yeah.
They're in second after these relays plus diving to A&M, which again, the individual diving event with no individual swimming event skews it a little bit.
Mhm.
But they were second in this free relay and then third in this 2 medley, and just top to bottom, they put up solid performances. I'm really excited to see what they do for the rest of the meet.
Yeah. Coleman, how do you feel about Alex Walsh being left off the 800 free relay at ACCs?
Such a flex from UVA. I mean, it makes sense, and that's an interesting point. we saw a lot of teams do this tonight, especially now that ACCs are combined men and women and have the 5-day format instead of the typical 4-day format that they adopted last year. It's like there's two relays tonight, and why kind of use a swimmer on both if you don't need to? It's like they won that they didn't win handily, but they did. It was a convincing win, but Florida was kind of there, but like they didn't need to use her is the point.
You mean Louisville?
Sorry, Louisville. My mistakes. Yeah. So so Louisville. I'm sorry. They won handily. They won by over 2 seconds. And they didn't need to use Alex Walsh. Will they use her at NCAAs? I think so. I think Stanford's going to be there in that relay, obviously, and so I think they will chase them in 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 that relay, but maybe not. I mean, they can afford. I think they can afford a second place in that relay, especially if that means that Alex gets to swim on the other 4 relays and just knock them out of the park.
Yeah. It definitely makes sense for ACCs as well, where they can win a lot of these relays with maybe not their top swimmers, and it's a great way to give more UVA swimmers relay experience because, like Alex Walsh, Kate Douglas, Gretchen Walsh aren't going to be there forever. And Claire Tuggle, she's a freshman, and she might not be on the 200 free, like 800 free relay A team, but she's probably going to be swimming on these relays in the future when people like Walsh and Ella Nelson graduate. So it's a great way for swimmers like her to gain more championship meet experience. And she had a decent split. She's someone that has had trouble dropping over recent years, so giving her that relay swim was probably a great way for her to gain some more racing experience.
I absolutely. And to see Amy Caney come in and do what she's done in like a month and a half. I mean, like it's very reminiscent of Matt Sates. Again, obviously there's the South African connection, but it's like he just came in seamlessly, and I love the joke of he just speed ran the NCAA,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he just came in, swam really fast for one semester, and then pieced. And I don't think Amy Caney's going to do that, but it's incredible that she came from South Africa. She's been in the U.S. 6 weeks, and she's already gone 142 twice. Well, she split 142 tonight, but it's like she's already rocking and rolling. And so for them to have that piece, I mean, I think that's why Alex Walsh wasn't on this relay, because she added a very, very good layer of depth to that mid distance crew at UVA.
Yeah, of course.
All right. I think that about wraps it up for us. Any parting thoughts, Yin Yin? Anything we missed before we sign off for night one?
Well, I'm just very excited about tomorrow. I feel like 50 free, 200 IM, 500. The first day is always, I guess, the most exciting day, personally, in my opinion. So I'm really excited.
The first day excitement is unlike anything else. And we
Yeah.
had such a good first day today that it's like, all right, what's gonna happen tomorrow? I mean, I think it's a little sad that like if Jordan Crooks goes 17-9 tomorrow, everyone's gonna be like, yep, no, that's about right. But all right. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Yin Yin and I might just be back again tomorrow for a SwimSwam deep dive. But until then, tune in to swimswam.com for all the meet coverage this week, next week, and in weeks to come.